Hello everyone, I am Erika of beadingschool.com and you are watching Coffee Time with Erika. Today we are going to talk about fairy wings. Fairy wings in our beadwork and beyond. You can watch today's video from the Beading School YouTube channel and also from the Beading School Facebook page. But before we would start, please let me know if you can hear me, if you can see me well. I would like to make sure that everything is all right before we would start talking about something important together. So I see the numbers slowly going up. You know, I have this like clever program that shows me that how many beaders are here with me today. And I see you all together from YouTube and from Facebook. So it's really, really nice. And I see Anna saying hi and Molly and Marta. And Lita says, hello, Erika and everyone. You look lovely and I love your mustard-colored wool. Thank you so much, dear Lita. Truth to be told, exactly my beading area needs the most work still in my new home. I have lots of heavy boxes full of beads that need lifting and now I have to rest. But the rest, it looks like so nice already. Do you guys want a sneak peek? There is a bit of mess, but yesterday my couch was delivered, and it's not actually put together yet, but it lacks legs and it's in pieces, but at least I pushed it where it is supposed to go. So if you guys want a sneak peek, then I can show you a little bit how the rest of the living room looks like. Jessica is also here watching from YouTube, and she says it all works well. Catherine is here, Sherry, Ingrid is here, Rachel, Kata is here. Indeed, finally so good to be back. Also, I really miss the palm trees already. Linda is here, Lutka, Alicia, Marcy, Angelina, Laura, Erika, Kimberly, yes, indeed. It's going really well. Bernadette, Irene. And indeed, we are back to the normal time. We also had the daylight saving, whatever, messing around, change of the clocks thingy over the past weekend. I didn't even know it until Monday. It's so good that our phones and alarm clocks these days adjust automatically. Otherwise, I would have missed my plane. That would have been, I don't know, staying in the sunshine under the palm trees more. And Marta says, we are looking forward to a house tour soon. There shall be one. Today I can give you a sneak peek, but there shall be one for sure, like a proper one. Sarah is here. Anna wants to see the living room. Jessica too. Angelina asks, you know what goes well with mustard? Turquoise. That's so true. Isn't it the best color combination? Turquoise, yellow, and pink, just like the Beading School mandala. Lita also wants a sneak peek. Terry is here. Cindy is here. Katja. Angelina has another question. Have we ever not wanted a sneak peek? I have to think about that. And my memory does not always serve me well these days. It's just my head is too full. I'm taking even more notes and making even more to-do lists and making even more complicated Excel sheets than, not complicated, but extensive Excel sheets than usually. Ask my Beading School colleagues. So, yeah. Manuela. Corinne is here. Heather. Erika is asking if the couch is turquoise. It's not turquoise. And Timmy is here, and Marie Cecile and Georgina. So before I would start talking about all the rest that I have prepared for you today about the fairy wings. So forgive me the mess. 5 minutes before we would have met today, I still had the desk full of stuff. I am working these days still from the kitchen. And then I just put all the stuff on the couch. So there is stuff on the couch. But otherwise, I'm super happy with it. So let me show you around in the living room part. And Miriam is here also. So good to see you. So that's it. And I will be actually showing the pendant. Heather is asking for it. So I will be showing it soon. So here's the stuff that I had to move. It's like my tripod and camera pieces, whatever, and then the couch. As you can see, it lags. Oh, I will remove the picture, then you can see it better. Okay, I removed myself. Here it is. So the couch doesn't have legs yet, and it's in pieces, but I need my friends to help me with that nowadays. Then what I really like here, this old suitcase, I actually found it on the street. We have this here in the Netherlands that on designated days you can just put stuff on the street that you don't need anymore, and then other people can pick it up. Me, often, I love picking up what other people don't need anymore. Like actually my coffee table is also from, like, it's a found object. Then I absolutely love this part. The brown furniture. The previous owners of the flat left it for me, and I found an old lamp and some extra decoration, and then I have some books here and a picture that goes on the wall. That's my reading corner in the window, and then bookshelves. Of course, there have to be bookshelves. The rest is not so organized yet. There are like dumbbells and more dumbbells and stuff everywhere. So that's it for now, guys. I hope you liked it. And Jessica says, it looks so lovely, Erika. I hope you are really happy with your new home. Jessica, I'm so happy with it. Like from the first day, even when I was like sleeping on the floor on a mattress instead of a proper bed, and there were like piles of boxes around me, surrounding the mattress tightly, I already had such a wonderful sleep. Yeah. So yeah, I do feel really good here. And on Saturday, I will have my first dinner party for my friends who helped me with the move. So that will be great. And thank you so much for the compliments. Angelina is asking, do you see a park from your window? No, I see the highway. And I see a very ugly square. My Dutch friends, if you know Delftlandplein in Amsterdam, that's it. So it's super ugly. The square. The highway, I don't mind anymore, and I don't hear the cars at all, so it's fine. And actually, I really like it that there is like open space in front of my window, so you don't see like another house right in front of your nose. And I think it just feels so good when you are not so enclosed. So of course, like, it's beautiful to live in the historic center in Amsterdam where you have all the cute houses, but everything is so cramped together. I'm not there. I'm like outside of the center, but I really, really love it here. And Kimberly, is there going to be a spot for your dance? Of course. Of course. And actually the floor is higher, the ceiling is higher by nearly half a meter, so that's great. I was like touching the ceiling with my legs when I went upside down on the pole, so it's going to be great. And there will be even more space actually, so I can do, once I learn it, my dream move, I will be able to do it. And Linda says that she also loves collecting. And Ludka says, so beautiful and comfortable. And thank you, everyone. Also for your well wishes. And Yolcin says, I love the vintage vibe in your home. I love combining things that have history, that have a soul. So yeah, it's very much present in my home. And actually, I'm going to talk a bit more about my new home today, and even some of the special pieces that I have here with me. And Sarah says, we are moving to awful neighbors here, but we are still looking after the perfect home for us. Happy for you. Dear Sarah, every finger crossed for you guys. It can be like such a complicated thing when you have to have like the perfect location, layout, size, neighbors. The sun should shine from the right direction. So really, I keep every finger crossed for you. I have met already a few neighbors and they are amazing. One of them, a young lady from next door, she brought me flowers. So I can't wait to, like, it's my plan on Saturday to bake some brownies and then knock on the doors and make a card for everyone, like, hi, I'm Erika and this is my number if you need to reach me, and come for coffee, tea, whatever. But oh my god, I'm talking so much, but I haven't even started on what I wanted to say. So let's go back to that. Yeah, I managed to find myself back where I was. So, oh, and Niti also wants to move. She says, I know the feeling. And Marta also. Oh, so everyone, let's keep each other fingers that you guys find your places, and then everyone can like make it their own as soon as possible. And then let's keep showing each other how our beading areas look like, or organization hacks, and how do we arrange our beads. So let's do that together. It feels so good when we can connect through that too. So this is actually like, it feels like as if a fairy tale would become true. And this is like how with the newest Beading School Academy team actually, and also partially with the Shamrock Logbox, we stepped into a fairy tale. And fairy tales are the source of inspiration we are playing with these days. And now everyone, please, like, close your eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine that there are magical creatures hiding behind the door or in the hole of a tree stump in your garden. I promise that you can even catch a glimpse of them if you can keep your eyes open just a teeny tiny bit so the fairies don't notice, filtering the golden sunlight through your eyelashes. There were many different kinds of tales I listened to when I was a kid. Lots of them showed me a deeper glimpse into Hungarian culture. That's my original culture that I grew up with. But there were also classics from Andersen, from the Grimm brothers, or collections from other nations and countries. No matter what was the source, my most favorite ones were those when the hero had to overcome challenges that first seemed impossible. And I will actually, ladies, want to ask, I would love to ask, what kind of fairy tales were your favorites? What kind of heroes? Who was your favorite hero? Which story was the one that you asked for over and over again, even if you knew every letter and every word by heart? While I am waiting for your answers, I would like to tell you about one that we got inspired by already. So a few years ago, I showed you one of the books that I loved reading or getting or asking my mom to read it for me. And that book was full of Greek myths that prompted me actually to design for you the Thetis' Treasure Beating School Academy theme. It was full of blue and green and turquoise, lots of turquoise. And it was teaching us about gods and goddesses and nymphs and other creatures from Greek mythology connected to water, especially the ocean and the sea. But besides myths, I also loved folk tales very much. And I remember one from one of the books I had when the hero had to steal 3 pieces of hair from the head of the devil. Or when the hero, another one, when the hero had to stay awake despite the mischievous princesses, and the hero had to protect an apple tree full of golden apples. And for some reason, the princesses were stealing the apples during nighttime. So he had to catch actually the daughters of the king he was serving. So, and it was like incredibly difficult. And at a point, he put his sword and his knife beside himself. So when he was falling asleep, then he would like lean towards the sword or towards the knife. So those would wake him up. And he was so desperate and so determined to stay awake that he didn't mind, but he even did that so he can achieve what he wanted. And in the meantime, I am starting to get some answers from you about your favorite tales. And Lita says, I loved Hans Christian Andersen and would read them all the time. Those are so beautiful, Lita. I also had actually a book with his with a collection of his. And Anna says, I loved the flower fairy poem books when I was young. They all have beautiful pictures. That sounds so intriguing, Anna. I have never heard of it, actually. And this is also so nice how we bring together our backgrounds and cultures and we get to know more and more about the world. Linda really loves Greek mythology. Lita says, the 12 dancing princesses. That was one of my favorites too. Anita is saying hi. And Kata says, I had a favorite book by a Russian author, The Copper Hills Queen. A Részhegyek királynője in Hungarian. I think I knew it. It was stories about a miner and his adventures and lots of gemstones. And Niti says, I loved the ones where the heroine takes charge and faces challenges like Mulan. And Catherine likes quests and fantastical creatures. And Anna says the tales, the poem that she mentioned, it's very British, and she will post it in the club. It fits the theme so well, Anna. I would love to learn more about it. So, just like my favorite heroes that I mentioned, we also have to overcome challenges in real life. All of us. And it's essential to keep reminding ourselves that we are more than capable to overcome those challenges. We need to build up our strength, learn new skills, ask for help, sometimes even from strangers, and most certainly, we need to do things that at first might sound absolutely terrifying. Of course, sometimes we might fail, even if we do our best, and have to prepare better for the big task. And it's good to remember that heroes in tales often have to try 3 times until they finally succeed. Fairy tales, books, and stories are reminders of our capabilities and how much we humans are capable of, and how kind people surrounding us can be. And just as what we read, what we choose to read, it is equally important what we surround ourselves with. What kind of colors do we see daily? What do we touch? What kind of feelings do we let in our bodies and our souls? And yeah, recently I moved into my new home. I think that picture is from the very beginning when I arrived. And much of my time is now dedicated to making the flat into a home, into a nest. And today I would like to show you 3 items, just like the 3 challenges or the 3 trials. So 3 items in my new home that became very important for me and remind me of the qualities and values I would like to pursue and follow in my life. So one of the items I would like to tell you about is that blanket in my reading corner. And that blanket is nearly 35 years old. It's unbelievable these days when blankets come and go, and this one is with me through nearly all of my life. So when I was 5, then together with my sister, my mom, and my father, we moved to a separate place. Up until that time, we lived with my grandparents. And that's when I got my first big girl bed, when I started to sleep in a separate big bed. And my grandparents gifted that blanket to me. It didn't take long until we moved back to them, actually, without my father. That's another story. The blanket moved back with me, and then the blanket kept moving to Hungary, to the capital of Slovakia when I went to university, to Prague, and it's also here. And on one hand, it feels just so good to touch something that is of such a nice quality, but of course it is a reminder of my grandparents. And yeah, it's possibly one of my oldest things that I have. And then another, oldest what I have gotten. But I have here another surprising thing that I carry around with me, and all of my friends or family members who helped with a move or two during these past decades, they are surprised by the weight of that. And can someone tell me what is that on the picture? Not the lamps, not the picture frames, but that wooden thingy. Can you recognize what is that? In the meantime, Michelle said that she inherited her dad's Aesop Fables book, and she says, I loved anything with animals in it. And Heather loves Celtic lore. Oh, then I hope that you loved the Celtic collection and the Celtic cabochons. Molly likes Myth, The Lord of the Rings, and the Mortal Instrument series. They all have fairies. Linda loves Disney and Sleeping Beauty, anything with dragons and fairies. And talking about my blanket, Lita says that I have the Afghan my grandmother made for me. It's nearly 40 years old. I keep it on the couch. That's so beautiful, Lita. Especially that it's handmade. Linda has a bread. Linda thinks that it's a bread box. Miriam thinks it's a typing machine. Lita is asking a bread box. Heather thinks it's a chest. Erin says a treasure chest. So most of you are thinking about a typewriter or a special chest. However, there is one person who knows what is that. And it's Lutka. And it's actually an old sewing machine. And this sewing machine, it belonged originally to the grandmother of my grandmother. So that makes her the great-great-grandmother of me, I guess. And both me and my sister, we learned how to use it. We started to learn when we were about 5-6 years old. We were super young when our grandma started to teach us. Unfortunately, I can make only straight lines, so that's how far I got. My sister was a lot better. But thanks to this sewing machine, we had some very, very, very special time together with my grandma. I remember that once we tried to calculate back then when I was a kid that how old the sewing machine is, and already back then, 30 years ago, it was over 100 years old. So this I also carry around wherever I happen to live. And Niti says that her mom also has one like this. So the two items that I showed you, they are both connected to my childhood, but it doesn't mean that I have to have something for a very long time so it can become special. And I would also like to show you these two beautiful chairs. I'm actually sitting on one of them, and another one is by the window. So I can bring here my coffee and sit in that chair and just keep looking outside. And these two chairs, they were actually gifted to me by my therapist. Her name is Thelma. And she used to be your couples therapist, but then when we ended with those sessions, then I asked her if she would be willing to continue with me, as I really, really admire her wisdom. She also knows it very well. When do I need a tap on the shoulder and a bit of comfort, but is not afraid to ask me hard questions. So I push myself further and further. And Thelma also rearranged her home recently, and these two chairs were originally in her office, and she didn't have a space for them anymore. So she gifted them actually to me. I asked her, like, what can I do for you for these beautiful chairs? Like, at the moment I'm broke, but like, what can I do for you? And she said, like, she loves white wine. So actually yesterday I bought her a very nice bottle of white wine in exchange for these beautiful chairs. And not only will these become like one of the most beautiful things that I have in my home, but also of this learning journey about myself and relationships and life, and her also. And what was funny when she gave them to me, that I thought, like, okay, I will take them home with a taxi. Chairs should fit into the back of the car. Well, they didn't. And I'm in the part of the city called New West, so on the outskirts of the western part, and she lives in Oost, in the eastern part. So that's about 8 kilometers. But luckily, it was a sunny, beautiful day. So I ended up carrying the 2 chairs across the city. And for fun, I was taking pictures about the chairs, kind of sightseeing by the Amstel River, by the famous Rijksmuseum, where Rembrandt has his paintings, and in the Vondelpark. So I'm sure they had a great time. It took me like 2 hours, 8 kilometers, as I said. That's, I think, around 6 miles. But it was a beautiful day. I could sit down to rest anytime I wanted. And sometimes I even had company. An older man actually came to sit with me, and we chatted a bit. So that was cute. And Miriam is suggesting give her a beaded gift. And I'm actually thinking about that. I need to like spot if she has like pierced ears, or if she wears necklaces. I already know the color. She loves sage green, but I would love to give her something handmade. And yeah, so those were the 3 things that I wanted to show you. And fairy tales taught me that everything is possible, even carrying those chairs home through the whole city. And I'm actually learning that so much more is doable than we would have thought, than I would have thought. And of course, ups and downs are parts of life, but between and sometimes even during the hardship, life is beautiful. And I trusted that if I keep my heart open, and I am not afraid to light up my own light, as we talked about during the Celestial Lantern theme, I will attract people to my life who want to enjoy the light and the warmth together with me, embracing each other as we are, without judgment, together with our weaknesses and strength, on the days that feel light and easy, and also when we need a hand that gently holds us while we recharge our energies to continue our journey. And just as important that what kind of furniture, what kind of items do we surround ourselves with, just as important is that what do we have on our bead mats, and what kind of jewels do we wear. The colors, the shapes, the style that we choose, they all mirror back our feelings, influence our words, and also can serve as mementos of important moments in our lives. If we keep wearing them, then they actually accumulate more and more meaning. And that's why I decided to wear the pendant that I have on today, because that is one that has lots of memories accumulated already. It's called Chinese Mystery, and actually the coin that I used in this traveler style pendant is an old Chinese coin that I bought in Cambodia, in Phnom Penh, in the capital, maybe 10 years ago, maybe more, 10 to 12 years ago. And of course, it reminds me of that journey, and I enjoyed it so much. I was there with 3 friends, but they didn't get up for a morning tour through the city. We had already a flight back home in the early afternoon, so we would have to get up very early to get to know the capital a little bit. And they decided to sleep in. And I was like, I have to see it. I have to see at least a little bit of it. So I was wandering around on my own, and it was such a nice day. But also, then of course, when I was beading it, then the necklace, it accumulated more memories connected to it. And I actually do love wearing this piece. This is one of those pieces that I would like to keep for myself forever and ever and ever. And I can recall some very special moments in life when I had this on. So by selecting the material that you work with carefully, by really like being present when you bead, when you work with it, even the moments when you share it in the beading school club, for example, and then like wearing it for your special occasions, those build up layers and layers and layers of becoming more and more meaningful in your life. So it's not just pieces of glass, it's so much more than that. And one of the jewels from the new Fairy Forest collection that keeps lots of meaning already, even before we would bead it, even before we would wear it. But already the story of the inspiration that the designer Ruxandra told us, it feels special. And it really intrigued my mind. It's called the Fairy Flight. And Ruxi says, the inspiration for this piece came from the beautiful and unique fairy wings filigree. It gave me the idea to go one step further from its actual significance, wings, and to integrate it in a piece symbolizing the actual movement of flight. I imagined a tiny colorful fairy flying in the sunlight, capturing all the sparkles and glimmers of the beautiful morning light, expanding her wings and closing them up again. And as Ruxandra is talking about movement and changes and mornings and expanding the wings and closing the wings again, especially I think these days when I'm going through so many changes in life, it really keeps a meaning for me how life is all about changes, and it's all about like embracing the ups and downs, but focusing on the sunshine. So this filigree, this piece built around the beautiful filigree, it really holds already a special meaning for me. And the piece, the component that inspired Ruxandra to create this is the historic filigree that is in the middle. And as you probably know by now, because it's one of my favorite type of components to work with or to include in the special collections designed for you, historic filigrees, they come from the Czech Republic, and the designs, they go back a long time in history. That's why I call them historic filigrees. Some of them, the designs were originally drawn 100 years ago by different designers. However, after the Second World War, the machines and the stamps that are used to create the filigrees, they were not valued anymore, and they ended up literally in a scrapyard. And that's where a family rescued them from. And thanks to a special collaboration with this family manufacturer, we are bringing you this special material to work with that connects us to creative minds from 100 years ago. Also the fair weaving filigree incorporated in this one. The filigrees themselves, they are of course newly made, so they follow the strictest European regulations. The metal is all new, but the stampings, they come from back then. And what makes them also very special is that the stamps actually can't be recreated. So for one filigree, as many as 5-6 stamps are needed. So the metal, it travels to the machine, through the stamping machine, 5-6 times. And the first stamping, the same design, the first stamping, it makes like the big outlines. The next one, it cuts out some pieces. The third one adds more detail, and so on and so on. And of course, using them over and over again, it causes them to wear down, and it's just not possible to recreate this anymore. So they have this special connection to the creative minds from 100 years back, but also this elusiveness that we need to like really treasure until we can work with some specific types. And indeed it happened, I think a year ago during Advent, that we had a beautiful butterfly-shaped filigree that broke during stamping the filigrees for you. So that's why we had like a limited number of boxes, because then we didn't have any more of the butterflies. And nowadays I have like an electronic library. I took pictures of the designs I can select for you when we are working on reviving a filigree for you. But I would like to also show you that how did it look like when I could select filigrees for you in person from the filigree library of this special family manufacturer. So the tutorial that we were talking about, from Ruxandra, the fairy flight, it incorporates a specific type of filigree. But you have also another option to use the beautiful filigree that comes in your fairy forest box, because the second signature jewel that is part of the membership of our Fuchsia Beading School Academy students, also use this one. So you will have a choice if you would like to make Laura's jewel, or if you would like to make Ruxandra's jewel. So this is also coming soon. And I would like to, but there are actually more options to incorporate this in your beadwork. And I would like to talk about a few of them. So as you see, some of the tutorials incorporate a specific type of filigree, and you need exactly that one to make the design. So in case of Ruxandra's tutorial, that is the case. But there are also options when you can work with the filigrees with more freedom. And I would like to remind you of the beautiful dragonfly dance tutorial that Zuzi wrote for you. And it is still available on the Beading School blog, the whole tutorial with photos as a gift for you. So if you want to surround yourself with reminders of fairy tales and the magic of possibilities you have in life, then creating these winged creatures, dragonflies, fairies is a beautiful option in my opinion. I put the link to Zuzi's tutorial to the comment field, so you can find it easier. But I also have something else coming for you. Just a moment. Oh, and you will tell me that I'm a horrible teaser. But even I didn't see yet the final version of this. So what you can also do with the filigree is that you can sew it down with tiny stitches to ultra suede with Fireline. Choose your color that blends in the best. I use the black one as always. And with tiny stitches, you can sew the filigree into the ultra suede. And then you can add some focal components, some cabochons, and of course you can fill in cup chain, and you can fill in more beads to fill up the space and to achieve the desired size and shape that you would like to have. So we have already two options. You can design a beaded motif where the filigree is incorporated, the specific type of filigree is incorporated into your jewel. Then you can use these wings in your bead embroidery and sew them directly to your ultra suede. But you can also, for example, decorate the top of a beaded motif. And I forgot to upload that picture. Please forgive me while I look it up. And for this, I have a different shape of a filigree. But as you can see, I was already finished with my beaded motif. And then, before I would attach the backing, I glued. Okay, no, sorry. In this case, I actually glued on the filigree with a hefty amount of glue, but you can also sew up and down between the beads through the ultra suede to attach your filigree. So if you would like to include your wing in a bead embroidered piece, then you also have two options that you can attach it to the ultra suede or on top of your bead embroidery. You can also use filigrees instead of drops. So if it is, or connectors even, so if it is of a suitable size and shape, then the filigrees can also hang from a beaded motif. And I have to say that when I was searching for a suitable historic filigree for the Fairy Forest Beading School Academy theme box, then I encountered much more suitable shapes than I expected. I could choose only one for the Academy box itself. However, today I would like to show you a whole beautiful box filled with them. 10 different shapes, 17 filigrees altogether, and all of them in antique colors, your all-time favorites. So antique bronze, antique copper, and antique silver. Miriam is actually also suggesting another idea to use the filigree as a focal. Indeed, we also do that sometimes, or even when we sew down the filigree to ultra sweet, then we keep decorating it with beads and crystals. And I just love doing that. So I would like to show you something that we put together after all the hesitation, that which wing-shaped filigree should be included in your Fairy Forest Beading School Academy theme box. So this is what we were working on also during the past weeks. And the box is filled with 17 historic filigrees, 10 different shapes. Some of them come in pairs, so that's why, or multiples, so that's why there are like 10 types, but 17 pieces included. And the one that we had in the Beading School Academy box, it's also included, but also many, many more to create your fairies, to create your dragonflies, to create your butterflies. And this week, until next week's Coffee Time with Erika, I wanted to select a beautiful gift for you if you decide to go for this. So if you would like to adopt one of these historic filigree wing boxes, and you do that before next week's Coffee Time with Erika, then on top of the filigrees, you will receive Ruxandra's tutorial that on its own has the value of 15 euros as a gift. So this is a limited time possibility, and the box itself, it costs 39 euros. But and then the tutorial 15. If you bought one by one the filigrees, then and the tutorial on top of it, then it would be altogether 62.81 euros, but now it's only 39. And Miriam has a question. There are different colors of filigrees in the box, would be great. And indeed, there are different colors, dear Miriam, and it varies that which filigree do you receive exactly in which color. So it's like a mixture of the antique colors that are, we also are always looking into the numbers in the bead shop, that what do you like the most. So the antique colors are the ones that speak to you the loudest. So that's why, and also my favorites. So that's why we selected this. And for me, like every time when I work with a historic filigree, then it already feels like as if I was working, as if I was meeting like a different world long gone. But then on top of it, this fairy tale theme, and it just adds some extra sparkle, especially during these times in my life. And I would also like to remind you of No One Has to Be Alone. That's coming during this week. And there we will work with Zuzi's beautiful pendant. And I would also like to recommend to pop by and look at the Beading School blog, because recently we published another interview, a face-to-face interview with one of our beloved beaders from the Beading School Club. And it's a really nice one with Anita. The Fairy Forest Mini Challenge page is also waiting for your submissions now. So many of you were asking that which ones were the components that you need to use this time for the Talent Winner Mini Challenge. And this time it's the Mobituos and at least one of the Preciosa Chaton Roses. We added to the rules a little bit, so please make sure to read the rules again to make sure that everything is clear. And if there is a question, then please let us know through info@beadingschool.com. And lovely ladies, I would like to thank you for all your precious bead orders from last week. And also thank you so much everyone who decides to go for the historic filigree wing box. We created 100 of these boxes. Usually we have more boxes than 100, but from this this type we could make 100. So please don't hesitate too long. And the special offer with Ruxandra's tutorial, it will go away next week during coffee time with Erika. So now if you go for the box, then you will automatically also get access to Ruxandra's beautiful tutorial, and there will be a filigree of this type hiding in the box. So in case that you kept your other filigree for Laura's signature jewel, you will have an extra one for Ruxandra's. And Kimberly says, in the meanwhile, I'm in love with every one of these new filigrees. They are so beautiful and amazing. I have never seen such beautiful filigree as what we can get through Beading School. My obsession. And dear Kimberly, I'm really, really happy that you see the difference. There is a difference. Like the quality of the metal, of what's inside of the metal, and it will not tarnish. If it's golden colored, then actually it has golden particles. If it's silver colored, then it actually has silver particles. And just so much detail. And when there is supposed to be a hole in the filigree, then there is a hole in the filigree. So you can sew it down, you can attach it to other things. So there were many historic filigrees that crossed my bead mat over the past 10 years. And it happened maybe 1 or 2 times that there would have been a defect, but these are created with so much care and the knowledge that goes into them accumulated through all those years, it's on a different level. So lovely ladies. Oh, these are, by the way, the shapes. I'm not sure if I showed it. So these are, by the way, the shapes that go to the box, to every box. And as I said, maybe you get a specific type in old silver, maybe you get it in old bronze, maybe you get it in old copper, but it's always like the same selection of colors. And thank you so much, ladies, for loving this. And I can't wait to see them appearing on your bead mat. And I'm really curious how you will incorporate the historic filigrees into your beadwork. Lovely ladies. Do you have any questions left? And thank you so much, Lita and Terry and Sarah and Sharon and Kimberly and everyone who says that you love them. And lovely ladies, do you have any other questions left? I will be here next in 2 days to bead with you. And the topic will be Susie's cute motif, also with from the Fairy Forest theme box. Oh, and Corinne says, I love to collect them, but not use them, only caress them and pack them away. That's one of Peter's hobbies, I think, just loving the components we have. I do that with art cabochons also, so I have such a big collection by now. Erika says, I'm in love with the eye-shaped ones. Linda says, just order the box. Thank you so much, dear Linda. Susie says, come to mommy. And Michelle says, thank you, Erika. Hope you are recovering well. And thank you for your question, Michelle. My belly still hurts, but the crying after the getting off the hormones seems to get better. So while yesterday I burst into crying like 15 times, today I haven't cried yet. I cried nearly 3 times, but I haven't actually cried, only I was on the brink of it. So I think that also is starting to get back to normal. But also I think these days, especially, it would be very normal if I was crying, and I do cry sometimes with and without the treatment. So I allow myself to also feel those feelings, and it's all right. And Patty is suggesting to make angels with the wings. Oh my God, Patty. For Christmas, for the holidays. And there is actually a pair that is like mirroring each other. And oh my God, I see it in front of me, like with a beautiful cabochon in the middle and maybe a baguette or a navette, and then the wings on 2 sides. Oh my God, let's embroider even more, dear ladies. So, lovelies, thank you so much for your attention today. And thank you so much for loving the filigrees. And let's see each other in the Beading School Club. And also on Thursday, so no one has to bead alone. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care of yourselves and your loved ones.